Hey all, welcome back to Triple Goddess Soapery. My name is Angela, and today we are making the final soap in my Sabbats collection. This is Yule. It is in celebration of the Winter Solstice. Yule is a pagan holiday. It generally lasts between December 21st on the shortest day of the year and carries through till January 1st of the new year. Now, I have tried to do this voiceover 58,000 times, and I keep struggling, so I'm going to leave some links down below about Yule and the Winter Solstice if you care to go and look that stuff up. I will also try to remember to leave a card above to the video that I recorded last year for Yule, where I talk about Yule as well and the Winter Solstice. So you don't have to listen to me struggle trying to explain what Yule and the Winter Solstice is. Alrighty, so for this soap, this is the same soap base that I use every time I make soap. It is available over on Patreon. If you don't know about Patreon, you can Google it and head over there and check me out. I have lots of paid as well as free content, and I would love to see you there. It's a great little community. So we're using a silver mica as well as a gold mica for this. And then I also have some white diamonds mica, which is a really nice shimmery glitter. And we're going to get right into it. This is also one of the two soaps that I do embeds for, and you'll see that later on. We're just going to add our danger water to our oils and butters. I already have my clay and my goat's milk blended into the oils. And as always, I know I don't mention it in every video, but please, please wear your PPE. You want to have long pants, long sleeves, closed-toed shoes. You want to have on your gloves, and you want to have on, at the bare minimum, eye protection. I also use a face guard, just a shield, because I don't want to get splashed in the face with anything. And all we're doing here is we are just blending everything up until it's at a light trace. And when you lift your spatula out of the oil, if you don't see any separation, you're fairly certain that you've reached a trace. And I'm just going to add my blend of oils in here, and it's been a little while. I actually made this soap in June because I did a pagan festival in August, and I wanted to have all of the Sabbats ready. So I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what my blend of fragrance is, so let's just take a look here. So for Yule, I am using, just waiting for the formula to pop up, I am using a blend of balsam cedar from Windy Point Soaps, some peppermint essential oil, as well as some Fraser Fir fragrance oil from Fizz Fairy. So it's a bit of a concoction there. I like this soap to smell like the outdoors, nice and fresh and clean. I like it to smell like a forest, and just everything that Yule and Christmas inspires. So that's what I'm going for here. And I've got some silver and gold as well, because that very much feels like Yule to me. And then we're going to just do a white base as well. I like to mix up my micas with a little bit of the oil from the batter just to make them blend easier. And then I also use a water-based titanium dioxide from Voyager Soap and Candles. And I just mix that with a little bit of water first. It blends so easily. I much prefer the water-based titanium dioxide over the oil-based. I think it just works a lot nicer and it's a lot easier for cleanup. So now that I had everything all ready to go, I've just separated it out for my colors, and I'm using, I want to say about a quarter. I'm using about half the batter is colored and half is not, and then the half that is colored is split between the gold and the gray, or the silver, I guess. And I know that these fragrances play really well, that they don't accelerate my batter, so I put those in early. And we're just getting the titanium dioxide in. And it's well known that titanium dioxide, or oxides in general, can accelerate trace a little bit, so just keep that in mind when you're using oxides. I also find neons as well accelerate trace quite a bit, so you gotta pay attention to that. But that's not something we have to worry about for this video. And we're just gonna give it a quick little stir again, just to make sure everything's incorporated and just to check how thick the trace is. Now, if you want a really wispy swirl, then you're going to pour quite thin. And if you want a nice chunky, really notice, like to really see your colors very prominent and not blended at all. If you want them nice and thick and chunky, then you're going to wait till your batter's a lot thicker before you do your in the pot swirl. Hope that made sense. And here we are, we just have the embeds. I poured these with a clear melt and pour, and I put some of the White Diamonds mica in it, and we're just going to pour it out. Now, before I forget, I just want to say thank you so much to my patrons. I will put them up on the screen here. It just makes me so warm and fuzzy inside every time I get a notification that someone new has joined, whether it's a paid membership or not. I really like it. I have 75 members over there, or sorry, no, 65 members right now over on Patreon, some paid and some at the free level, and I just love every single one of them. It just makes me happy that even with this economy that people see my content and they want to support me, and that's just, it's really nice, and I really do appreciate them. And there are many free and easy ways you can support your favorite creators. I would encourage you to click the like button, the subscribe button, click the notifications so you know when new videos are posted. I have been very busy this November and December, but I'm hoping to get back on a better schedule of at least 2 or 3 videos a month, if not one a week. We shall see. So yeah, please consider clicking like and subscribe. And I'm very tongue-tied tonight. Alright, so we push those embeds down into the soap, and I bang it around a little bit because I'm trying to get out the air bubbles. You'll see at the end that there are some air bubbles around the snowflake, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. You can fill them in if you want. I didn't bother. Now that we have the pots all scraped out, I still have not decided exactly what my signature soap top is going to look like. I struggle with that. But because of the profile of my boxes, I can't pile my soap up too high. So I just try and give it a little swirl on the top. And as well, because this is one of my Sabbats collection, I am adding a gemstone on top. So we don't want the top of the soap to be too busy because we want to be able to see the gemstone. That is the star of the show. We are using Snowflake Obsidian on top of the soap because I thought it was appropriate. And before we add our gemstones, I am going to spritz the top quite liberally with the White Diamonds mica. I just love the shimmer that it gets. It's just it gives us such a glossy, pretty shimmer, and you'll see that. The only downside of these dry misters is that I find that sometimes if the mica isn't super, super fine, it clogs it up a little bit and you gotta bang it around on the counter. It's not that big a deal, it's just a little annoying. But I do like spritzing like this better than I like just by sprinkling or by, just using a sieve or whatever. These are chunky snowflake glitter from Fizz Fairy. And I liberally add these on the top as well. I think that it's fun. And then the final step, we're just going to put the gemstones on top. And I don't know if I show it in the video, but then I also spritz it liberally with 99% isopropyl alcohol. Just helps with soda ash. And this is what they look like so far. Now, once the soap is ready to go and I've spritzed it with alcohol, all I do is I have an old Amazon box and a towel. I put the soap loaves in the box, throw the towel over top, and I leave it for, 24 to 48 hours. And I've never had an issue with gel phase. I get full gel every single time. I have just about never had a soap overheat, even though I am using goat's milk and I am insulating the soap after it's done. So you can take that for what it's worth. With my formula and the levels of percentages of ingredients that I use, I've never had a problem. And if your soap does crack a little bit, it's not a big deal. It's just cosmetic. The only issue you really have to watch out for is if your soap like volcanoes and just goes everywhere, then that's a problem. So I'd say err on the side of caution, keep an eye on it for the first few hours, but otherwise If you're using this formula, it's going to be fine. I've never had an issue. And my room temperature tends to stay around 70 degrees, give or take a couple degrees depending on the time of year. And this is what he looks like. I feel like Yule is a man. It's the winter gods, and there's so much lore about Yule and the gods and the battle during Yule that I will link those down below because it's quite fascinating and it's interesting. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, please leave them below. And also too, if you're a maker, let me know how it's going for you this year. I found that the first half of the year was extraordinarily slow business-wise. I had more online sales than the year before, but my in-person sales definitely struggled until the end of June. Then by July, things started to really pick up, I think as I found my niche more than anything, and I know I've talked about this in videos before. And then the last half of the year, I've just been setting records over and over again. Each month, I'm setting a record over the month before. November was extraordinarily busy with two large 3-day markets. I set a really big sales record. It was, I don't know, I don't even know how long it's going to be, how many months or years it's going to be for me to set a record like that again. But it was exciting. It was really great. So let me know, how have your sales been? How have you been doing? Whether you're a soap maker or a candle maker or, some other kind of maker, let me know. I'd be curious to hear. And now, with the magic of television, it's been a couple days and we are ready to cut our soap. And I don't fuss too much about drag marks. If you care, you can put your soap on the side. Oh, and something that I forgot to mention. On my wooden boxes, I've actually marked out the lines of my soap cutter exactly. I basically laid my soap cutter over top of the wooden boxes, marked out with a pen the lines of the soap, of the wires, and then I took a wood burner and actually burned the marks into the wooden boxes so that I never have to worry about breaking a wire or cutting through an embed or anything like that because my marks on my box match exactly to the wires on my soap cutter. So there's a little hot tip for you. And this is what it looks like. My snowflakes are a little off center. That is something I would like to work on next year. Also too, I wish that I had gotten a flashlight or something to shine behind the soap so you could see how it's so translucent and just see the snowflake glow, but I forgot and I'm sorry. And you can see some air bubbles there in the soap, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's entirely cosmetic, and nobody else seems to care either. This soap has been selling quite well. Samhain has sold out, and this soap, I think I have about 8 bars left, so hopefully those all go this weekend at my final market of 2024. Alright, we are getting close to the end here, so I just want to say again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate you. I don't know, this might be my final video of 2024. We shall see. Stay tuned. I might have something coming out before the end of the year, and if not, have a fabulous Christmas, a blessed Yule, and a Happy New Year. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you back here soon.